Hey, Midnight Sun here, and we're going to be doing a leveling guide from level 1 to 18. That's right, you heard it right, 18 for every single class in the game. The reason we're doing the 18 is because at that point in the altar, you should unlock the items have no level requirements, and at that point, all of the classes are going to have a much easier time leveling up. But if you wanted to start the class with something that's not a Necromancer, or if you don't have the Necromancer unlocked, or you just want a different kind of play style, you want a little bit of a challenge, and you want to start with like the Barbarian, Crusader, or Wizard, we're going to show you some leveling skills, some strategies for each of these classes for the next season. Go ahead and practice it right now, because as of when I'm making this video, the current season is still active, so you'll get the Altar of Rights bonus, you'll get the Visions of Enmity, which will be the same as the next season. You will have the kill streaks, which you wouldn't get next season, but that would be replaced with an even better thing, which is the shards of hatred or the souls of hatred or something like that. Can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. So we have our character here, and I have a couple challenge rift caches over here. Now, previously, I tried this out, Barbarian here, on Master difficulty, which is what I would start with the Necromancer, because I wanted to see how it would play, you know, is it possible, and getting what I got in the game there and running through. I made it through the first area, no problem. We got to the Elder Sanctum, and as soon as you run into one green guy, you could probably be fine, but if there's two of them, you're going to die immediately, and you're not going to be able to really do it. If you level up a little bit more in the first area and you get rend and you get some runes to unlock with it, it's kind of feasible, but that seems a little bit too much up to luck. So we're going to drop the difficulty down to expert. We're going to try it on expert. And we opened the challenge rift in that previous character. We are on a hardcore solo seasonal, so I really wanted to try and make sure I had no deaths and that it was possible to do on hardcore if that's something that you want to play. Previously, we also unlocked a Bracers of Destruction by gambling here. And I didn't think I was going to die. I felt pretty confident, so I didn't put it in my stash like I was supposed to. I have the items have no level requirements on, so everything is required level 1 for me. Which means that I could have put on those bracers, but in the actual season, we wouldn't have that unlocked yet. So I should have put it in the stash and waited until I was good enough to use it. So we're going to start out. We're going to go over here and gamble again, and we're going to go to our bracers. Now on the Barbarian, you can gamble for bracers, or you can gamble for a ring and hope for a ring of might. Now, bracers are probably going to be the most cost-effective and most likely, because if we switch over to rings, our rings are 50 per roll, and our bracers are 25 per roll. And you only get 475 blood shards with opening the challenge rift cache. So we're going to try with bracers and see if we get it. Okay, this time we got bracers of the first men. This is going to affect our hammer of the ancients. Now, previously, I got the one that was for seismic slam. And again, I can equip this now, but it won't actually let me do that in this season. So I'm going to put that in here. And I've got a couple extra bracers left over. I'm just going to go ahead and double check what they've got here. Most of these are vitality things, but what I got on here is a strength, vitality, and even a lightning skill damage. So I'm not going to switch those out. The only time I would switch to those blue guys is if they give me more vitality or health comparative to damage on this yellow thing here. So for example, if this yellow thing gives me cold damage and I don't do any cold damage, and it gave me a health pickup radius, and maybe it gave me like life after kill, then that wouldn't be as useful as a blue piece of thing that gave me 20 vitality. So that's what we're going to do here. We've got some leftover blood shards, and what I would recommend is, you know, going through and trying to get that ring. You can get a Band of Might. That would be amazing, especially for most of the classes on the Barbarian. It uses it up. I'm going to save these blood shards that I've got right here because I've got some other classes to go through. So I'm not going to do that. Next, we're going to go to our followers here. If you look at the Enchantress and you look at her skills, they unlock at 15, 20, 25, and 30. And we're only leveling up to 18, which means that we would only get one of these skills that are useful, and it's a damaging skill. So we don't want her. If we go over to the Scoundrel, he is pretty great later on, but what he's doing here is a ranged attack at level 5, and then there's critical hit chance, but it's only 1.8%, which isn't very useful. Whenever you or the Scoundrel lands a critical hit, you both go into hysterics, increasing damage. But again, we don't have a whole lot of gear, and our critical hit chance is pretty low, so it's not all that useful. And then again, you got a damaging weapon there. So the Templar is going to be the best thing in the beginning. That's because he's got a healing skill, a regenerate skill, and then later on he'll unlock this, which is going to, let's see here, give you increased damage as well. So the Templar is the one that you're going to want to go with. Over here in the options category, by the way, if you go over to gameplay, make sure you have auto-equipped items turned on, show advanced tooltips, elective mode especially. This lets you put a skill on any slot. I've got automatically skip can't even read here. Automatically skip all cutscenes. And then if you look over here in the HUD setting, I've got display player health bars, display monster health bars, names, you know, if you want. And you can also do some other things here with damage numbers. I only choose on critical hit damage numbers. I could do health bar numbers, but it's just too many numbers on the screen, and it's going to be really annoying. If you want, you can have this show tutorials. I always have it off because I've played the game so much I don't need a tutorial for anything on here. Now, if you look over here, my health is a little bit low. So there are some people in town that can heal you. And if we go and click on them, it'll automatically heal you. Or you could use your potion. But I like talking to these guys in town because it doesn't make my potion, cooldown activate. And with the Challenge Rift cache, we will get a lot of gold. So we can go and talk to these guys over here and see if they got anything better on them to equip. So right here, we've got a chest piece. This is going to be about the same as our thing over here. We can look at the stat changes at the bottom there. It says 0% damage, 0 toughness, 0 recovery. Let's see. We're going to want to equip that. And he doesn't really have anything else that are useful. Now, sometimes you'll have a really good weapon and you can equip it. If not, you go to your Templar. He's got a 7.2 damaging weapon, so 1.2 attacks per second. So we could see if what he's got here is a little bit better. And that's a 6.3% damage. Monster kills grant a little bit more experience, 1 to 2 cold damage. I wouldn't choose that over my Templar's weapon. And you can also go to the other axe and check out their vendors. Most of them will have the same items, but some of them will have something slightly different. So we're going to go to this guy first. Let's see what we got. 7.7 damage. This chance to deal 11% area damage on hit is pretty good. So we're actually going to go ahead and buy that. Let's see. Ooh, we got a yellow piece here. That's absolutely great. What else do we got? This is a regenerate 2 life per second. We're going to take that. More life per second, 2 life after each kill. We're going to get that. Let's see. That's about the same. So we're going to go ahead and equip this stuff right here. There we go. And if we want, we could sell the rest of that stuff so it doesn't take up our inventory. So these guys will be able to sell rings and amulets and stuff at a certain level. I'm not sure the exact level for that off the top of my head. So we'll check that out and see if we can find out when that happens. I think it's like a level 13 or 12, but we'll double check it. Okay, and now I really don't want to... What happened to my thing? I want to make sure I put that in here. I lost my train of thought. Okay, good. I want to make sure I actually get that in there. So I believe that's like level 12 that I can equip that. So that's when I'm going to stick with that. And also, the Temple of the Firstborn is going to be our backup option. We want to go to the Ruins of Sescheron, and we want to try and get to level 18, or as close to level 18 as we can. If you don't get to level 18, don't worry. We'll go to the Ruins of Sescheron, and then we will be able to get all the levels we need from there. So we're going to go ahead and start this out. And I like to have my map open when I'm kind of going through here, just kind of tapping it out to see what the area looks like. If it's an area that I'm familiar with, I'll beeline straight to the cube. And my goal here is to go to the left here, look for this doorway, and then move forward. And these enemies here are going to be no problem. We're going to get straight to level 2 with them. And now we've got the Hammer of the Ancients. These elites are stuck at level 1, so they won't do too much damage to me. So I'm just going to hang back a hair, make sure I've got a backup plan, keeping an eye out on my player health bar there to see if there's anything surprising, and we're good. Now here we've got a little bit of a better item. I'm going to go ahead and give that to the Templar, because if he's alive, he's going to heal me some more. I'm also going to go ahead and adjust my volume a little bit. It sounds a little bit loud to me here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that down a bit. There we go. All right, level 3. We're cooking. Anytime you see a chest in this area, we want to open it up. It has a chance to give us some better weapons or axes or anything. And we're not going to be doing too much at the beginning here that's going to be too different from the other classes. If we were on the Necromancer, this level 4 here would allow us to use Corpse Explosion, which is going to make the entire leveling process incredibly easy. But we don't got that now. We're going to go ahead and peek through the left here, because if this opens up to a bigger area, it's the right way to go. If this left area was just a dead-end room, then we would not be going the right way, and we would want to go straight. Now here we've got our Pool of Reflection. And the only thing I have unlocked on the altar is the items have no level requirements. So not getting any boost in damage that you wouldn't already experience. And I didn't mention this at the beginning, but you should scrap the weapon of the Shield of the Templar and the Scavengers or Scoundrel's Bow at the blacksmith there and turn it into the altar for the reusable parts. If you don't want to do that, you cannot buy the items and scrap them. It won't let you. But you can go to an area like this and find some reusable parts in here on the ground from enemies you kill, or finding a great item and just scrapping it. So we're going to try our best to maintain our skill streak. And more importantly, we're going to try and get to, let's see there, get around all of these enemies while our level is still low. Because every time we level up, the enemies that are close to us aren't going to gain that level boost, but the enemies far away from us are. So these are still level 5 enemies. And as I go and level up here to level 6, these will stay level 5 enemies. So if you're in an area and you encounter a large amount of enemies, they will stay that low level. Once you go to a new area and you go into all the enemies, they will go up to your highest level. So if you're level 10 in a new area, then all the enemies around you are going to be level 10. If you're in that area and you're killing monsters, they'll stay level 10 if they're nearby you, but if they're farther away, then they will drop down to that initial level 10. That's a little bit confusing. I'll try to explain it better in a minute here. We're going to go to the next area here. One thing I'm noticing is if I look down at the bottom, I've got 84 enemies killed, and I'll probably have something like 96-ish when I'm done here. I want that to be 100, because once I reach 100, I will unlock another level. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. Okay, I want these enemies. Once I reach level 100, it'll give me another 2 times boost to my XP here. So as long as I can reach 100, I'll be good. Normally, I would just go through the area, and if I was so low and I needed 20 or 30 more enemies, I wouldn't do this, but this is fine here. I want to make sure I'm maintaining that score streak. There we go. Once more, and then I'll drop it. So I'm not too worried about these enemies, because again, they're a whole level lower than me. Alright, well, Season killed them there. But they would have died to my level up anyway. So let's go ahead. See if the Season will kill that guy. There we go. Okay, so we're going to drop the level and we're going to try and get through here. Okay, good. So we dropped it in here. I think that should stay level 6 for the nearby enemies. If not, they'll boost to level 10. We're going to go ahead and throw on a couple of these things here. We've unlocked our passives. This will give you a little bit more health, but only when you get a health globe, which is pretty rare. So we're going to actually go ahead and get more damage here. Hammer of the Ancients, we could put on a new rune here, but we're going to switch to Rend. And if we look at the difference here, call forth the massive hammer to smash enemies directly in front of you, dealing incredible amount of weapon damage. Hammer of the Ancients has 1% increased critical strike chance or critical hit chance for every 5 fury you have. So if we look at our fury down here, we have 100 fury. So let's see, that's 100 divided by 5 is 20. So we should get about 20% increased critical hit chance, if I'm doing my math right, which I'm probably not. And then we have a bit of a shockwave here that's going to help us out. Now, Rend is a sweeping attack causing all enemies within 12 yards to bleed for 1100% weapon damage as physical over 5 seconds. So just as the base, that's going to be a little bit better than Hammer of the Ancients. And then increase the range of Rend to hit all enemies within 18 yards. So we're going to hit a lot more enemies around us. So we're going to stick with Rend here. And we're also going to change Ground Stomp to Leap. This will let us get out of situations if we need to. And for everything else here, Overpower is actually a decent skill. I'm going to double check what we have. We have Cleave. let's see, where was that? Cleave here, which is going to slow some enemies nearby here. I wouldn't actually use any of these other skills here. I would just stick with Leap, and I would stick with your Bash and Hammer of the Ancients. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I didn't put on the rune for Bash here. Each hit freezes the enemy, so we're going to put that on as well. We're going to double check our gear here again to see if there's anything that's a little bit more useful from what we got here. This should be less than we got on our Templar here. We want him to stay alive because he's going to heal us. Again, we are on a hardcore character, so we're trying our best not to die. We're on Expert. Last time I was through here was Master, and we died right away. So we're going to see if we can make it through here and at least get a couple of these enemies. I'm going to make my way up and down here just a little bit in case exactly what happened, which are these enemies here. Now you can see that they're kind of easy here. They die in a couple hits, so not too bad. And the green guys are what we're going to watch out for the most. Those elites are going to be a bit of a problem. But since we came in here at the level we did, these guys shouldn't kill us right away. There we go. And what we want to do is, again, we want to create a bit of an escape route behind us, especially with elites, because they'll wall us. So we're going to hit, make our way back, hit, make our way back. And if we get a wall, we're just going to go on the other side of it. These guys, luckily, they're not completely blocking us in. You find someone low, target them first. And it just occurred to me that I am not using my cleave, or not my cleave, my rends, which is not on my bar here. So can't change it now that I'm in combat, but I'll fix it here in a second. There we go. All right, and let's grab that and figure out why this didn't switch over to rend. Probably because I didn't click accept. Okay. Again, we're going to check these things out. I know he doesn't have any gloves on, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that on him. And make our way down. Now, these bugs, they don't seem like a big deal. They are. If you get a couple of them behind you, they will hit you when you're on 2 health and kill you. These guys are going to teleport behind you, so as you run away from them, they're going to block off your exit. Now, this is the Necromancer. These guys are my favorite because all of these bugs that they drop are going to stack up your kill streak. On here, it's a little bit harder. And again, we want to make sure we're maintaining that kill streak to the best of our ability, because if we don't, all of the enemies are going to suddenly jump up to our level. So here, we're doing okay. They're not doing too much health damage to us despite being surrounded. They are probably going to stack some poison and debuffs on us here in a minute. So we want to be a little bit careful here. All right. Try and maintain this. There we go. And the worst thing we can run into here are the big blue dudes. If we run into the big blue dudes, it can be incredibly dangerous. So try and save your kill streak for around them or level ups around them, and deal massive damage with the level ups. Now, I should be at the point where I'm unlocking a new rune for rune, which will help us out a lot for our damage. And if we have that bracer thing there, which affects Hammer of the Ancients, we are going to throw Hammer of the Ancients on our bar as well. But since we can't use it yet, there's no point in putting it on there. There we go. And we're getting close to reaching that level 100, which is going to give us another boost to our XP here. So the boost for the XP is 100, 200, 300, and 400. So as long as we hit those numbers, it's going to be a boost each time. Again, we don't want to move through here too fast. We just want to be kind of slow. This is one of the reasons why I recommend to do the Necromancer. And the best thing to do is do the Necromancer until level 18. Once you have that items have no level requirements by getting the 2 flawless diamonds, you could switch over to the Barbarian and level up from the Barbarian 1 to 70 and do that no problem. But like I said, some people like to start with this, so we're going to start with this and try it out. And I will show you what it looks like to level up after getting the items have no level requirements and getting a couple boosts to that as well. Okay. Nice and steady. Once you get 2 of those green guys around you, stop what you're doing and focus everything on killing them. We do have elite to get out of here, so we should be fine. We're stacking up our kills. Okay, there's the season bonus that killed all of those guys. We wouldn't have that in the next season, which, again, that helps a little bit from the leveling, but later on we will get the shards, which are going to be massive. So we're gonna make our way up over here. Still no blue enemies. We got another green guy over there. Might be a bit of an issue. So when I was surrounded there, I went ahead and used that overpower, which helped to deal some damage to those guys. You see my health is starting to get down a little bit. If that ever happens and I'm a little bit cautious about it, I'm just going to leap out of the way of the danger and start hitting again from down here, making my way over to a safe zone. So I'm close to hitting 200. After this, I'm going to try and drop the kill streak here. There we go. I'm going to drop the kill streak here and see what I get for levels. I should go up to like 13, 14 maybe. Let's see. 13. All right. So 13 is when I'm allowed to equip that other item, I think, which is the bracers I got there. And I can also put on Rend, the next skill for Rend here, which is the Ravage. So I could put that on there. I'll double check some of these other skills here and see if I get anything good. We get Revenge, which is not very great. Cleave, Frenzy, not very great. Seismic Slam. Seismic Slam is something I believe you get for the other ability or bracer that you can get. So I'm going to go ahead and return to town. And as I do, pick up that bracer, put it on, and then we'll switch my skills to adjust the bracer that we got here. So we're going to put that on there. And I'm also going to put this in my inventory and see if my follower can equip it, which he can. Now, don't worry about putting things on your follower. If you need items to scrap for the next thing on the Altar of Rites, go ahead and just take it all off of him. You can give him stuff, you can take it away, it doesn't really matter. Okay, and I'm going to actually scrap what I got here since I'm already here. There we go. And I'm not sure if these vendors refresh every time you log into the game. Okay, yeah, every time you go back, you can refresh what they got here. So we're going to go ahead and double check what we got. And these guys have got some really good stuff on them this time, it looks like. Let's see. Intelligence doesn't really help us. There's a belt we don't have. We're going to put that on. This is going to give us some more vitality. So we're going to put that on. Let's see what else we got here. Okay, interesting. So this is going to give us more damage, toughness, and recovery. And we're going to lose out on cooldown, regenerate 6 life, chance to deal area damage. So I'm actually going to go ahead and equip that compared to the yellow item there. And I'm just going to go ahead and sell what I got on me just because I don't really care too much. All right, and let's go check out this guy and see what he's got. Okay, that's a major damage there from 7.7 to 16.5. So we can put that on. And what else we got here? Not much. We got some slightly better pants, but I don't like dexterity for my character anyway. We got a little bit more strength there. Okay. Oh, there we go. This is the rings. So at level 13, we've got access to the rings, and we're just going to look through here. We want that amulet, and we want both of these rings because we got nothing on. So that's going to help us out tremendously. And I believe when I came through the other area, I was level 10 when I died last time on the master difficulty. So had I come back here and went through those items and got a few extras, I might have been able to stick it through with master difficulty. Not something I'm willing to try on a hardcore character, so I would just drop it down to expert. Okay, we're back in the area here, and again, we have the bracers of the first man, which is Hammer of the Ancients. So we're going to go ahead and switch over to Hammer of the Ancients and put on our rune here, getting rid of Rend. Now, if you don't have those things, these bracers here, stick with Rend. If you have the other bracers, which affects Seismic Slam, switch to Seismic Slam. And again, just put on the first rune. It's a little bit of help. I realized I don't have a pet on this whole time, which would have helped out for picking up gold and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and throw him on. And we're going to make our way up. Now let's go ahead and try out this Hammer of the Ancients and our new damage here and see how we're doing. Let's see here. There we go. So this is pretty good. About one swing is going to take out most of these enemies, maybe half of the other enemies. It looks like our health regeneration is going pretty good. We should have no problem getting through this now, even if we run into the blue dudes. There we go. Look at that. So now these green dudes are going to be no problem. And the only thing that can threaten us are those blue big blobs. Let's see if we can keep our kill streak up. There we go. So now we can kind of start moving forward and letting the enemies trail us a bit. The only time you don't want to do this is if you're not confident in your damage. Now, since we've got plenty of damage and we know that those guys are going to follow us in particular, we're just going to move forward. And I like to go, like I said, down for a bit until I can't anymore, and then I go all the way to the right, and then I make my way up. Oh no, I'm going to drop my kill streak. I thought those green dudes were going to teleport to me, but they didn't. But that's fine. We're still doing good for damage here. Where am I at on my map? Okay, we don't want to go that way. I want to keep going further to the right here. Now, since I dropped my kill streak already and I don't have it back up very much, I can not really care about 19 and maintaining it. There we go. So this is where the cube is. We've got him here. I've already unlocked the cube, so it won't give me the thing, but we click on that, get it, and teleport, and then move on. We are level 14, so we're going to switch over to Temple of the Firstborn, Act 2, and finish up the rest of our leveling. Now again here, the more area damage you have, the better because of these bugs. They should follow you, so we're just going to make our way through until we get a group of them, like that, and then smack them all with Hammer of the Ancients.
The ancients smile on me.
Yes, they do.
I have heard troubling news. Another
Yeah. I don't want to hear that dialogue 1,000 times.
Not enough fury.
Alright, we got a Pool of Reflection. We're going to keep that up. And that Pool of Reflection is going to boost the amount of XP that we get up to a certain point. So there's the point that it's going to boost us to. Later on in the season, you can get items have no level requirements, which is going to be super helpful. Come on. Ugh. So we got 5 times experience. If we had got to 100, I think it would have given us 7 times experience. So that's a little bit of a bummer there. And level 14 still. We lost our things. Why are you still talking? Alright. Anytime there's a cursed chest nearby, I like to get it, but I don't get it with there's elites nearby, so we're going to take care of these elites first. And with all of our damage and stuff, we should be absolutely fine taking out this elite. There we go. 1 or 2 of these guys isn't going to matter too much. Let's go ahead and activate that. So here we have to worry about getting surrounded. Now, luckily, Hammer of the Ancients is a bit of an area damage skill, so we don't got to worry about it too much. What I'm noticing here right now is that I'm running out of Fury, so if I could find a way to increase my Fury generation a lot more, that'd be great. There we go. Okay. And after doing this, we should get pretty close to 18 if we can maintain enough damage to all of these monsters. Whatever you do, do not overwhelm yourself by trying to level as fast as possible. I mean, we're doing a hardcore character, so we're being a little bit less, or a little bit more cautious than we would typically. But the worst thing in the world is just to have to start over when you've already got all of these guys. So I got 100 there, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Because I want to get this next thing here on the Templar. And I'm just going to double check again my skills. I thought so. So this is going to create that shockwave around us. This is going to deal more single target damage. I'm going to stick with that shockwave. Let's see. And we finally got our shout ability. So this is going to be a damage boost for us in general. Now, actually, I'm going to move my leap over to where the shout is. It'll let me. Because this is typically what I use for my, let me move further away from those guys. It's typically what I use for my teleport ability. There we go.
More fury.
All right. That leap is so fun on the Barbarian. So we can see why I kind of like this area. And so many monsters show up so fast and so quickly that you can get your kill streak going really, really fast. And as the kill streak goes higher and higher, you're going to get more and more XP for it. So I'm just kind of going through this area at a typical speed. Again, with some of these other classes that have some more range to them, then it makes it much easier to hit these enemies from a distance. The Barbarian, you have to get so up close and personal that it's not my favorite starting class. It does have, just this last season, I actually tried out a couple builds for the Barbarian, and they were a lot of fun. The Immortal set, which is going to be the start next season, should be pretty promising. It's just I know some of the other classes are going to be a little bit better than that, because Trag'Oul is going to carry people to Greater Rift 120 within a couple hours of starting the game. It's going to be one of the fastest things you got there. Okay. Almost got it. We should be hitting level 100, or not level 100, kill streak 100 one more time to get to level 18. I must have made a wrong turn here. That's a lot of enemies. So notice how I haven't had to use any of the shouts yet, which is nice. And these chests are going to give us the best chance of getting a legendary and some yellow items. So we're going to go ahead and loot through there. I saw a weapon, looked like a two-handed weapon over there. That's probably better than mine, so I could equip it. And if I'm wrong, by the way, about equipping this, what's it called? The bracers that I have on me. If it was like a level 13 requirement compared to a level 12 or whatever it was that I put them on. Don't worry too much about that. With all of the other gear we had on us, we still would have been able to go through that area. We just probably wouldn't have been able to one-shot them, so it would have taken just a little bit longer to go through. So, we're still doing good here. I want to make sure I get to level 100, so I'm trying to find a way to maintain most of these enemies. There we go, 100. Let's go ahead and drop the kill streak here. And we should get to level 18, no problem. There we go. So we're level 18 now, and now the best thing we got to do here is find a boss to kill. So let's go ahead and drop the difficulty. So as soon as you hit level 18, that allows you to get diamonds and other gems from killing bosses. And we need 2 regular diamonds to upgrade to a flawless diamond in order to get the items have no level requirements, as well as some what are they called, reusable parts, arcane dust, and the like of that. So make sure you drop that difficulty down to normal. I've died so many times by forgetting and keeping it on a higher difficulty. Sometimes I've had so much damage that it didn't really matter, but this time it does. So we have Kill the Skeleton King. That's a really good one. The best one is going to be Zoltan Cool, probably, as long as you get enough damage. So we're going to go ahead and go to the Skeleton King since we've got him here. So we're level 18. We're going to go through here and try and get this guy. And again, we are on hardcore, so if we die, we die. And now is where we're going to actually use our shouts. That was the one thing I wanted to check to see if shout got a rune. And let's see here. Come on, let me hit you. Hate these animations, they take forever. Alright, it's not bad. Reactivate our shouts. We should be spawning some skeletons on us there. Luckily, with our area damage, we can take care of them, no problem. So Barbarian's looking pretty good for doing this boss here with what we've got equipped on us anyway. We've got basically a full set of gear on. We should be taking him out. There we go. Okay. So we're hoping for 2 diamonds here. Let's see what we got. We got emerald, amethyst, diamond. So there's 1 diamond. So we would need to do this a couple more times until we get 2. If that happens, we just leave the game and join back in, and we keep an eye out for a Magda, Skeleton King, and again, Zoltan Cool. Now, the reason you would want the Skeleton King and Magda in particular is for the Necromancer. Killing that is going to get you some corpses. You can also throw on the Golem, get corpse explosion and stuff. Other classes, it doesn't really matter too much, but Zoltan Cool is going to be the fastest one to get to. And then we would be able to go to the altar and get items that have no level requirements. So that was the Barbarian. And what we're going to do next is we're going to level up the Barbarian to level 70. So we're going to go ahead and assume that we would get that other diamond. We're going to crank the difficulty up to Torment 6. And I'm actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this over to a regular Barbarian, not hardcore, so that way we don't have to worry about dying on the level 1 to 70 because it's such a long journey. So next time we're going to level up the Barbarian to 1 to 70, and I'll link that in the description here. So the plan going forward is going to be doing every single class from level 1 to 18, and then I'm going to show every single class from 18 to 70. So that hopefully when you guys are starting out the season, you can pick whatever class you want. You'll click on, this video. Let's say you're doing the Barbarian, click on this video. At the end of the video, it'll link the 18 to 70 guide for the class, and you can kind of follow along with that. And I'll talk about some skills, items to keep an eye out for, what's useful for your build, how to switch it up for the items. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for you guys to get the videos and hopefully have all of your questions answered. On each of these class videos, if you have any questions, let me know and I will do my best to respond to them. If you want, you can join the Discord and I'll be able to have a full back and forth conversation. I'm pretty active in the Discord, especially going through the rest of the year here. I should be more in service and in town as I live in Alaska, and sometimes I go fishing, so I'm out of service just because of the nature of that. But hopefully we get a bigger community in there. We get more questions answered. So that's it for this video. I'll link the next one here soon. Have a good one. Bye.